right, guys, we are doing this little stand here in a color called Disco Aqua. Requires a black base coat. That's what I have loaded in the gun now. It's gloss black. We're gonna put a real quick base coat on there real quick. I got this thing hot so it'll melt. I got little areas that it wants to probably not go, so it would help if I had the light hat on. So we're just going around and cutting in all of our spots. You know, welds where you're liable to have holes and things like that that are going to be cages later. We don't want that. This is a stainless steel item, so it needs to be covered, but it's not, you know, a deal killer if there was like a light spot in a corner. For me, it's a deal killer, but for the part, it doesn't really give a damn. All right, so I had my gun down a lot lower to do the corner so I could push it in there. And now I'm kind of turning her up a little bit to do the bars themselves. So that's one of the things that I do a lot is I change the flow on the gun depending on what I am doing. If I'm spraying hot, I have my flow low because you want to be able to watch it go on and make sure that you don't put too much on. If you have the gun up too high, it's hard to tell if you put too much on. So I like to have the gun a little lower when I spray hot, so you don't get a big blob. Because if the gun puts out a lot of material sticks. It's not like spraying cold where you put a lot of material on all blah and it falls on the floor. That ain't happening here. When that baby's hot, there's no floor action. It stays right where you put it. And that's a good thing. That's why you're doing it hot to begin with. But when you start getting to the point where the gun's coughing or whatever's going on, then it's a problem. So the easiest way to keep that from happening and to keep from putting too much on is to turn the gun down. And that's what I do. I don't know if I've talked about that a lot. I mean, I probably talked about turning the gun up after I got done doing the hot coat. I think I've done that a few times, but all right, so we got her covered in black. Then I'm gonna come back in a few minutes after it cools a little bit more. It's not gonna take very long. And I'm just gonna dust it up so it's not, there's no melted spots. So, and that'll do it for this, for the black base coat. Then what we're gonna do is we're gonna load the Disco Aqua in the cup gun. You guys have seen that before. It's a little cuppy thing. Because I'm only spraying this one part in that color. There's no sense in putting it in the big hopper. So we're going to load up the cup gun and do Disco Aqua after. We gotta dust this up again, of course, but all right, we'll come back on the dust up. It won't be very long. It's gonna be a 2 or 3 minute thing, and then in the oven it goes. I'm gonna put it in the oven for this piece, probably 5 minutes to do the pre-cure and to flow out the black. I'm gonna pull it out, let it completely cool, and then we're gonna put Disco Aqua on. We'll come back and show you all that, because you know you want to see it. Well, maybe not. Maybe you don't give a shit. Maybe you just want to fast forward to the end and see what it looks like when it's done. That's okay too. You know, if you're not into the technical part of it, I'm good with that. Just fast forward through it. You know, all the dumb light talking, you know, you don't need to know any of that if you're not going to try to do this anyway. All righty, we'll come back here in a little while. All right, so now we're going to dust this thing up and make sure there's no shiny and no bare spots, no shiny spots, none of that. We're just going through and just putting a quick duster on it just to cover up the coat we just put down. Because the coat we just put down could be uneven or dry, or it doesn't really spray dry, but it could be, because if it doesn't flow, how do you know? You know what I mean? Did you not get enough on there, or did it not flow, or that's the issue. And we want this to be well, I guess this doesn't even matter if it's smooth. I'm talking schmack, and this is a disco color, and it's going to be very rough when it's done. If you know anything about the Disco colors, they have not big, giant pieces of flake in them. For powder coating, they're literally huge. And the thing about that I tell people about the Disco colors, and if you're thinking about doing any of the Disco colors, here's the caveat, okay? You, on a round tube like this, you're going to see what I mean when this is done. I've already told everybody, you know, the customer about this, and, you know, not really a customer, but, you know, I've told the guy that owns this, let's put it that way, about the issue, and they know because he has some other stuff that's this color. He goes, yeah, it's not smooth. I'm like, okay, as long as you know that. I like to tell people, because if they're thinking they're getting a smooth material, this is not. The metallics in it are so big that they stick out of the clear. Does that make any sense to you? But I know it don't. It doesn't make any sense to me either, but that's how it is. All right, we're gonna put this in the oven for about 5 minutes and let it cool. We'll come back with that chunky monkey loaded in there and we'll put it on there. All right, we'll see you here in a minute. All right, guys, we're back. We got that black float out. It was in the oven for about 5 minutes. I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you guys. From this point on, we're winging it. I'm just telling you. I haven't sprayed this color or Disco color in probably 5 years, so I don't remember nothing about it. So here it goes. Watch Mike wing it. Here we go. We're gonna wing it with the ground on though. We're not gonna wing it that hard. I mean, we're trying to go easy here a little bit. All right, we got the ground on. We're gonna try 45 kV, which is high for clear, but this stuff has like big, look at the nozzle. See the nozzle? That's from my test fire. It's got some metallic in there. All right, here we go. I don't know about this. Here we go. I don't know. I think it's just fine. It's a bunch of ado about nothing. This is like the Seinfeld color. Oh, this is like, you talking about metallic. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what's going on here. Do I even, no. Why didn't you guys tell me I didn't have the light on? I mean, help me out here a little bit, will you? Oh. All right, intermission. Technical difficulties. All right, we're back with a fresh battery and it's on. Okay. I'm trying to figure out which one of y'all out there made my battery go dead. Something happened. I must have used it up. Wow, that stuff's just laying on the surface. Unbelievable. Yeah, this is like clear with boulders in it. I remember it being like this though. I remember. Because as soon as he said Disco, and I almost didn't even let him finish, I'm like, does it got a bunch of boulders in it? Is it rough? He's like, yep. They had some pieces, I guess, that were already done in this color. They're just adding this to it, apparently. Here I'm going back from a distance and trying to even up the flake, which is not easy to do. There's a lot of it. Yeah, it likes that being back from a distance and being dusted to even the flake up. It likes that a lot. It's a lot better than it was. I was worried about it there for a minute. I said, when I was saying I don't know about this, that's what I was seeing. Was weirdness. Okay. I mean, I don't know what else I could do besides that. It's super weird, man. And it's doing really weird stuff on these U's. All right, well, we're going to soak this thing in the oven. That was Mike winging at 101. That's pretty good. I don't know. We'll see when it comes out of the oven. All right, we're going to put it in the oven and hope for the best. Dang, guys, it came out pretty good. I mean, it has got some big chunky flake in it. And actually, it's a lot smoother than I anticipated it being. But it's very nice. Very nice. Very, very nice.